This is a spoiler-heavy review for a movie called Cocaine Bear, which is a fairly recent movie, so if you haven't seen it yet, please do so before watching the video. It is thoroughly appreciated. Now I know what y'all may be thinking. Cocaine Bear, now this one's a long story. Released in February of 2023 and directed by Elizabeth Banks of all people, this movie has been getting quite the cult following because of how...
That's a fucking bear.
Completely insane it is. Based on events that are somehow true, after several bags of cocaine were thrown out of a cargo plane, a bear consumes it and straight up has the time of its life before it dies unexpectedly from an overdose. And while we did eventually figure out what caused the bear's wild behavior, the bags of cocaine were never recovered and are still lost to this day. This whole movie is an overly exaggerated take on the story, with even a kill count to boot. Seriously, this movie could get pretty bloody at times. Side note, I did see some people online describing this movie as an 80s action set piece type movie, sorta John Carpenter-esque, but I more so saw it as a tribute to the killer animal exploitation flicks like Roar, Cujo, or even the TV show Zoo, which is way too underrated for its own good. Please watch it if you have the time, I beg of you. This is a deeply unhinged movie. It's the type of adrenaline pumping excitement that most people have been missing for quite a while, and it's the only film that's playing in cinemas right now that I can confidently say will give you that dose. For now at least. John Wick 4 is on its way. At least for when we actually get to see the bear on screen. The rest of it are some pretty awkwardly done dialogue sequences, which aren't entirely bad by any stretch of the means. The performances are still wild and eccentric enough to keep you entertained. For the most part. The scenes with the mother and daughter could have been cut entirely and no one would bat an eye. Not to say the performances are bad or anything, they're actually pretty okay. It's just that in the context of the story, this doesn't really fit in the slightest. Also, as someone who loves the trash modern CGI whenever I get the chance, even I can admit that the bear looks friggin' amazing in this. I do wish that they'd follow through with making the bear more cartoony with its approach though, even if I do like how human the bear is with these current approaches in mind. That's not to say that this movie is flawless. There are a few things that do hold this film back quite a bit. Like I said, the mother and daughter scenes could have been cut and none of it would have changed, and it could also be a little too campy for its own good. So with all those faults in mind, I will have to give this a 6 out of 10, but hey, major props to Elizabeth Banks for actually being able to destroy any doubt about a movie with cocaine in the title not being a smash hit. Also, I'm just glad to see that Depeche Mode is back.